Hey, Sarah and Karen, it's me. Um, so today I wanted to talk about the hype train because a lot of things have been happening lately, or not so much lately, but over the time since my last video, that have made me kind of think about this, especially with more recent events. And I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of things related to hype. So I'm going to first off with what I consider to be the oldest bit of it, which would be Watch Dogs. If you're not familiar with the game, it was made by Ubisoft. It's supposed to take place in the same universe as Assassin's Creed, but is not built on the same mechanics. And it's about a character named Aiden Pierce, who's a guy who is a professional hacker. He does it for he siphons off money from people, from the rich, to give to himself, basically. And then he gets detected while he's hacking this big hotel, and they order a hit to make him quiet, not kill him, but make him quiet, and so they shoot out the tires on his car, and his niece dies in the resulting car crash, and so he becomes the vigilante. Not really a superhero, just kind of a guy who goes around stopping crimes here and there, if you can be asked. And getting asked to do that is, you can completely ignore it in the game, but it's a fun game. However, there's a whole bit of shenanigans behind that damn thing. The trailer came out in 2012 at E3, if I remember correctly. And what happened was they showed it, and it looked beautiful. It was fantastic. Like, this is something you could only get on next-gen consoles and PC, because PC Master Race. But in all seriousness, the game looked fantastic. The mechanics were great. Everyone was super hyped for it, including myself. 2 years go by, more trailers come out, people start noticing the game's downgrading its graphical quality, Ubisoft is doing its normal, with this, with the hardware and the size of the map, the amount of time and money we have. They're doing the same thing they did with Assassin's Creed Unity over not having a female protagonist as one of the four assassins you can play in multiplayer. I'm not going to go into that topic. That is a topic for another day. But, and so the game came out, a while back, a couple months ago, and people were pissed because it didn't live up to their expectations. Me being the person I was, and I'm not trying to be like the different one, the one who had an actual brain, but I am one of the few people who had an actual brain. I was really hyped for when the game came, first announced, but after that I kind of stopped caring, especially when I found out it was in the Assassin's Creed universe, because I was really hoping Ubisoft would launch a new series that was just standalone. And I've slowly warmed up to the idea that it's in the same universe. It's taking some time, but the game came out and it was good. It's a good game. It is not a fantastic game. It is not an amazing game. People complain that there's a little bit of parkour like in Assassin's Creed, but not enough to be like Assassin's Creed. And there's some free roaming and stealing cars and there's stuff like that like in Grand Theft Auto, but it's not enough sandbox to make it feel like Grand Theft Auto, and etc., etc. People were just... I don't think people knew what to expect from the game, possibly. And the trailers are making it sound like it was going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. So... hype ruined the game for a lot of people. And a lot of people are oh my god, Watch Dogs is this huge failure. It's such a horrible game. And then tack onto that the fact that they were able to produce all of the graphical improvements that they showed off at E3 2012 initially on PC version, but they locked it away, and then you had to install a mod to do it, and it took them at least like 3 months to get a PC patch for performance, because the thing runs like ass. Like, I have a decent gaming rig. Don't get me wrong, mine is not like this super being from another galaxy for a computer rig, but it's decently strong. And it chugs. And even with the performance patch, I had to turn down a lot of stuff to make it run decently, because it does not load well. So yeah, hype with that game. Then on the exact other side of the coin, there was Wolfenstein: New Order. This game came out about end of May, I want to say. So made by, infamous id Software, guys behind the Wolfenstein series, Doom, and Quake. If those names aren't ringing a bell, they're basically like the grandfathers of first-person shooters. They're what define the genre. Wolfenstein's a series about B.J. Blazkowicz, and he's a Polish-American World War II soldier sent in usually on secret missions to stop the Nazis from using either supernatural abilities or cyberpunk type stuff to win the war. Except in Wolfenstein New Order, they are winning. It's 1946, and the Allies are throwing in this mad dash last effort to defeat them, and they lose. So it takes place mostly in the 60s. It's very dark. It's very nice change in setting. And it's got an amazing story and amazing gameplay. Like, it actually trusts you to put cover between you and a wall and bullets. It's not gonna be like, oh, hey, here's bullets. Make sure you push this button. You'll sleep against cover. You're fine. No. You gotta crouch or slide into cover and make sure that you keep your head down. The cover doesn't get destroyed. It's actually like intelligent. I like it a lot. But the big thing about it was that they definitely had a decently strong marketing campaign, but I didn't hear much buzz about it. I mean, sure, critics were buzzed about it, and there's a lot of big gaming sites that were buzzed about it because it's it. These are like the big names. This would be like, trying to think of a good example. Someone who just find a genre. So this would be like Hitchcock coming back. Yeah, it'd be like Hitchcock coming back to write and to make more films. That's what it'd be like. It's like this big named guy coming back. Obviously that's not possible, but that's the best example I can give off the top of my head. But there was no hype for it, and now there's so much buzz about it. Well, there was when it came out. It was this big game. A lot of people, I highly recommend it to a lot of people. I got on the Steam sale for half off. I loved that. $30 for a brand new game. It was great. And then, continuing the hype train, there's Guardians of the Galaxy. I just saw that movie 2 days ago. I know Karen's seen it. I don't know if Sarah's seen it. So for your sake, Sarah, I will keep spoilers to a minimum. But what I want to say is the fact that I was super hyped that Marvel was putting out a very strong, very persuasive set of trailers and news pieces and all sorts of teaser stuff for it, for good reasons. I mean, this is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not a well-known comic. It's even Movie Bob on The Escape has been known for saying nobody understands this comic all that very well. You can look up a Wikipedia, you can look up like the basis of each of the characters, but to understand the story arcs and the character developments, I've got no idea. I know who these characters are. I know their basic motivations, but I don't know the nuances. It's not like when you pick up Spider-Man and Batman, people can go on and on about the character. It's hard to do it with Guardians of the Galaxy, so it makes sense they are promoting it so hard. But I went in that movie super hyped. I was so ready to be just in love with this movie as I was with the Avengers. And on reflection, I'm not. Not to say it's a bad film. I'm not saying that. It's a good film. It's a really fun film. It's really funny. I enjoy the hell out of it. But it's not the Avengers. It's definitely what we needed after Thor: The Dark World and Captain America 2: Winter Soldier. This is definitely what we needed. But it's just, it's a nice light piece, but it's got some kind of jarring tone shifts here and there, and they make sense. They do kind of make sense in the narrative structure, but it's a bit odd, and it really kind of is origin story, the movie, for all these characters, which you kind of have to do. I mean, like, it's not really the fault of anybody. It just doesn't live up to the hype. But it is a good movie. I think the only thing that's kind of ridiculous about it is people are calling it the Star Wars of this generation, and I'm going to disagree on it. It's not that big. It's a good movie, though. It's a good movie, and there's a ton of cameos and good stuff in it. So if you haven't seen it, go see it, because it is good. It is a really good movie. I do highly recommend it. It's fun. I liked it a lot. All the characters are great. Vin Diesel is great as Groot. Bradley Cooper is great as Rocket. Chris Pratt is hilarious as Star-Lord. Zoe, I don't remember her last name for Gamora. She gives a really good performance as Gamora. But my favorite is kind of Dave Bautista as Drax. He pulls a lot of love into that character. And yeah, I know Tumblr's favorite is going to be Groot followed by Rocket, but I really love Drax. Drax is a very funny, unintentionally funny guy, and he has a good backstory, and I like his character a lot. He's a very interesting guy. The last thing I wanted to talk about was, only because Karen mentioned this when we were chatting last night, is the Batman games. Because Arkham Knight is coming. They just got pushed back to early 2015. They're talking somewhere February, probably February. That's the big release time for those games, or late January. There isn't an official date, but they've been announcing more and more things for it. When they first announced it, it was pre-order, and you get Harley Quinn maps. At E3, they showed off the Batmobile and the game, and it looks so good. It looks so good, and they also announced that there will be specific Scarecrow missions exclusive to PS4 owners. I hope it won't go that route and stay there, and as they did with Arkham Asylum, and actually port it eventually over to PC and the Xbone. Because I really hate when they lock up content like that. But they also the only sad thing for me is that I want to pre-order on Steam because then I can just straight up download it. But I might have to get it through GameStop, because if you pre-order it through GameStop, you get Harley Quinn, but you also get Red Hood missions. Now, Red Hood missions will most likely be DLC later on, and they'll be released later on to purchase. Like to play not only just challenge maps like they did with Arkham Origins, but as the Red Hood, who's Jason Todd, who's the second Robin. So yeah, but what I want to talk about with that game is hype for the Arkham series has always been a fickle mistress. Asylum, no one knew what to think about for Asylum. Because back then, listen to me being the old guy on the porch, back in my day we had to jump on mushrooms. But also back then, the best kind of superhero games were like Spider-Man 2, the movie game. And that was about it. I mean, there weren't many others that I was aware of that were really actually good. And then, for a solo superhero title, I'm not counting like X-Men Legends or Marvel Ultimate Lines. And then Asylum came out, and it was really good. It captured the spirit of the character while not making you feel like you're overpowered because your weakness was bullets. And then City came out. People were really hyped for it. It was open world, and they kind of failed a bit because they promised there's going to be a lot less Joker, and there's a lot of Joker. There's a lot of various things. Origins then came out, and it was supposed to be really cool, and this whole mob thing, and people were really hyped about it because all of Gotham was supposed to be there, and it really wasn't. Then there was supposed to be fast traveling with the Batwing, but it was just cutscenes. It didn't look cool or feel cool, and it was buggy, and it had a bad release, and the PC port was just so buggy, and it's still so buggy. Dear God. But Arkham Knight's back. And it's the guys who made the first two games, which they're fantastic games. Arkham City will remain my favorite solo superhero title, which is sad because that used to be held by Spider-Man 2, which is still right up there. And it's got Kevin Conroy back as the Batman, and it looks so good. But there's that little bit of me going, hype train. I don't know, man. Don't get too hyped, but there's so much to be hyped about. I don't know. Hype is such a weird thing to deal with, especially in the gaming community. Because, like, with movies and with a little bit less with books. Books are a bit closer to games, in my opinion. With a movie, when you go to see a movie, you drop, like, anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on where you're going and what you're seeing it in. And it's a one-shot deal until you buy a DVD. With a book and with a game, they are meant to be, at least designed to be replayed or reread immediately. The movie, you can do that, but you have to either spend more money or wait for the movie to come out on as a physical copy for the masses. So hype for not so much books, but definitely video games is hard because you're dropping $60 on a piece of entertainment that you want to replay and re-enjoy it and experience and get as much out of it as you possibly can. And if it doesn't live up to the hype, and your expectations, and you feel like you wasted your money. I remember, Watch Dogs, after I got through maybe a good half of that game on one playthrough, and then I got to one section where the performance was just so bad I couldn't keep playing, and I didn't touch that game for months. I just started, replaying it because the patch came out. I mean, that's not good. That's not good for a game. So, we'll have to see. In any event, time for shameless self-promotion. If you like what you see, and you're not Karen, Sarah, or me, you should hit that subscribe button if you feel like it, obviously. There's a like thing. That would be cool. Personally, I'm more loving comments because it gives more like direct feedback on what people think. But, you know, hey, to each their own. And if you want to follow Sarah or Karen's Twitters, they're going to be in the thingy down there. Not mine, because I don't have one, because I'm not going to get one, because I don't like Twitter. I have nothing against people who use Twitter, I just don't like it. But if you want to follow us on Tumblr, where I am almost constantly reblogging, and so are the rest of us, those will all be down there as well. So until next time, good day, sir.